Welcome to Backyard Cigars. Today is another rarity. Well, sort of, kind of. Maybe it's not even that rare nowadays for it to be 55, 56 degrees in the month of December. But I took the opportunity to get something out of the humidor that I didn't really want to wait for. I pre purchased this cigar back in late October, and it was officially released September 23rd. I actually received it September 25th in the mail. And this is the La Flor Dominicana Andalusian Bull 100th anniversary Jack Schwartz. Jack Schwartz 100th anniversary. Now, Jack Schwartz has been in business since 1921. They are a Chicago tobacconist, and they have a very close relationship with La Flor Dominicana and Lito Gomez. And they asked, of course, Lito Gomez to whip up a special batch of these for their 100th anniversary. It is 6 1/4 by 54 Toro size. It sports an Ecuadorian Corojo wrapper as the original one does. It sports a Dominican binder just like the original one does, and it has Dominican filler just like the original. The only difference is in the Vitola size and a little bit in the presentation, as you have this footband here that says 100 years. And I purchased these on the Northeast for the MSRP of $20, so I didn't overpay for them. Will they even live up to the promise of the $20 cigar, or will they just be another kind of a some people hate it, some people love it bust, as has been the case with La Flor Dominicana Andalusian Bulls that are not from 2016 or 2017. So I'm going to get into this one and I'll be back. Now, I took my time with this before I came back. Actually, came back a little longer than I would like, but the ash hasn't fallen off yet. I did notice some small cracking near the burn line, and I think the culprit for that was probably this footband. When I removed this footband, you see what I got there? Some of the wrapper. And I don't think it damaged it to the point where it was like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? No. But that may have contributed to some of that minor cracking near the burn line. And it really hasn't hampered the cigar. What has hampered the cigar has really been the draw. And it's as if the cigar wants to give, but the way it's packed, the way it's rolled, won't allow it to. So what we have here, folks, I don't think there's a problem with this blend. I think the problem with this specific cigar, and in two other instances where I've smoked the original Vitola size, the problem has been that it was packed too tightly and rolled in a way that just made the draw too conservative. And that's a problem, because with a draw like that, you're not going to be able to experience whatever the cigar has to offer. And what I did was, I have a friend who also shares a similar name as mine. We call him JH. He knows who he is. And, I told him about my little fancy contraption for when I have a plug cigar. He says, hey, I just use a toothpick and it works. And you know what? He's right. He is right. I mean, we sometimes we get into buying these cigar paraphernalia and just anything and any little thing that we think may be helpful, which is great, but sometimes the most basic thing will do the job, and you don't need to spend $29, $30 on something made out of some very durable alloy that will probably last for a really long time. But in essence, when I did this, the cigar opened up immediately, and I started to get some of that sweet, spicy flavor that the cigar was trying to give me earlier. And I think that the toothpick, it may not always work, right? Because nothing's 100%. While I do think it is less intrusive in the way that it goes in and it's less intrusive to the blend. Whereas the poker has the jagged edges, so that when you go in, it kind of pulls back some tobacco with it, which is also necessary sometimes, but other times it's not, and you really just need to poke it. So it has opened up quite a bit. So what is the cigar offering me now that it's opened up? I've often said that the Vitola size can sometimes slightly alter the blend, slightly. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, and sometimes just in a neutral way, where it gives you the preference choice. You prefer the Vitola in the Torpedo over the Robusto, but they're both good, and that's fine. Very good construction, and just a lot of earthy spice and some mild sweetness. The draw is better. I still think it could be even better, but I'm not complaining because it did open up a bit. I look, it's a nice hefty cigar. I like the Vitola. I like the Toro Vitola. I know a lot of us do. Rory, I know you do too as well. Love the Vitola size, 6 1/4 by 54. It's got a good feel to it. I prefer it over the original Vitola, but again, that comes down to preference. And it's got a wonderful aroma. Wonderful. It's just the aroma has this sweet, it's a sweet cedar aroma. Uh, it's just really nice. It really is. And now that's what I'm getting from the cigar as well. I'm getting that sweet cedar, so nice earthy tobacco with minimal spice. It's really nice. I didn't chase this cigar. I really didn't. This cigar, I got the notification. I wasn't on a specific special notification list for the cigar, and when I got the notification, I right away said, you know what, this looks interesting. It's in a different Vitola size. I'm game, and it's at the MSRP, so I'm not overpaying. Free delivery. Okay, I'm in. And so when I got the cigars, which, like I said, I got them in October, and I've had them at 65, 66 RH. So we're talking now about a month and a half, right? I definitely wasn't intending on aging them, but I needed the right weather, or perhaps a day at the cigar lounge in order to take the opportunity to review a cigar like this. As you can see, it still hasn't dropped the ash, and it hasn't stifled the cigar in any way. Even with the initial conservative draw, the toothpick did the magic, and since then I've been enjoying the cigar a lot more. When I first started smoking the cigar, within that first inch, I was casually drifting in my brain and thinking to myself, um, I wish I could tell Lito Gomez that this is a $10 cigar. This isn't. But then I said, in my mind, of course, slow down, Jose. You barely got past the first inch. Try to identify some problems that may be occurring here before you go ranting and raving about something you know nothing about. And sure enough, it's not hard to determine that you're having a conservative or a tough draw. It's not plugged. It was just very conservative. much more conservative than I can tolerate. And at that point, I said, okay, if I just do that, if I just fix that, let's eliminate some doubt. What's it going to be like after I do that? And I did the toothpick because I thought of my friend JH who mentioned that, and I've also thought about all of these experiences that I've had sometimes with the the plugger that I have, the poker that has those jagged edges, and I've thought about how when sometimes even a slight poke will draw back way more tobacco than I'm comfortable with, because it really is disturbing the blend and the way the leaves are placed. And it really should be a last resort when you get that aggressive with such a poker. So I thought to myself, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with the toothpick. It's shaped up rather nicely. It's a nice earthy, slightly sweet, minimal spice, bit of cedar, and I mean the biggest difference that I'm getting from this and the original Vitola size is less earthiness and more emphasis on the cedar sweetness coming together with some of that light spice. And I think that it's a nice medium bodied cigar, and it's really nice. It's really nice. Just this now, last puff I took delivered an earthy pepper finish that had a bit more strength to it. So it felt more medium plus, and I rather welcomed that at this point in the cigar. The draw is not even conservative in any way at this point. It has moved beyond that. It has opened up fully, and it is letting the cigar do its thing. You see, that's part of the things that we all go through when we're sitting down and we're smoking a cigar, whether alone or with friends, or whether in a review, as I am doing. And we'll have to question ourselves, why isn't this cigar performing? What's going on? And there are a variety of reasons, as we find out down the road, that could have caused the cigar not to perform. Some of those, some reasons are just completely unacceptable, right? And other reasons we can remedy, and it fixes the situation. But for me, I like to let things play out before I pass judgment, because look, this cigar to me just made a miraculous comeback. Miraculous. It just completely, it's worth the $20 that I'm smoking right now. That's how I feel about it. And it's smooth, and it's not this isn't Connecticut broadleaf, wrapper, San Andres, Mexican, Maduro. This isn't any of that. This is Ecuadorian Corojo. And this is Dominican tobacco. So, knowing Lito Gomez, there's some aged Dominican tobacco in here, obviously, that is complementing the blend that has always been in the blend. But I think that with his special relationship with Jack Schwartz, I think he definitely said to himself, look, we're going to make 10,000 cigars, because that was the amount. We're going to make 10,000 cigars. They are one of our best friends. They've scratched our back. We have to scratch theirs. And I just think he went in for some choicey tobacco here. I think he really dug down and got some good Dominican tobacco. Not that he can't, not that he hasn't, but look, we're not perfect. Sometimes you get what you get, and it's aged a certain amount of time. develops in a certain way. The palate perceives it in a certain way, and we've gotten cigars from LFD that haven't really been up to the standard of excellence that they set for themselves. But it's not because they can't or haven't. I said that already. It is what they did in this situation. They got some choicey tobacco. I don't know how long it's aged for. I couldn't tell you. I'm definitely 5+ years for sure. And it's really good. It's really nice. No more of the issues with the cracking at the burn line. Smooth Gorojo wrapper. It's just, it has some visible veins, and but it's got a nice colorado color to it. Yeah, it's a pleasure to smoke right now. It really is. It's delivering some sweetness in the finish along with that peppery earthiness that I was getting, and it's balanced very well, very well. I'm impressed. Look, I think these are sold out, and I don't know how and if you can even get them. But if you're at home and you have one, or if you've already smoked one and you're watching this, or if, like I said, you have one and you're thinking of smoking it, what I would not do is sit on these for too long and not smoke them. In other words, don't age them. I don't particularly think that La Flor Dominicana's Andalusian Bull ages well in any vitola size. And after enjoying this one, I'm going to tell you I don't think that it would age well. Besides of the fact that you have the age filler in here, it's Dominican tobacco, which is kind of iffy for aging sometimes. You have to know sometimes some of the varieties, some of the strains, some of the types of Dominican tobacco that are being used, and of course how long they were aged for as well. And sometimes you can get lucky. And again, the aging process is sometimes about preference. If you like a really smooth cigar and you're more of a mild to medium type of guy, then sure, sit on this for a year or two, and then smoke it, because that's your flavor profile. That's what you prefer, something milder. But if you are not into the super mild and slightly less flavorable tobaccos, in some cases, not always, then you might be better off not letting this go past a year. That's what I would say, not past a year. And sometimes you got to look at it like the IPAs, right? If you guys are out there, any of you guys that drink beer, Imperial Pale Ales, also known as IPAs, they don't age well. They don't. And as a matter of fact, many brewers will put on the bottles, indications as to how fresh they are, and sometimes recommendation on when to drink them by. And others will just tell you, look, this isn't meant to be aged. You just drink it fresh. If you age it, can you still enjoy it? Yeah, kind of, sort of. If you want the IPA to be robbed of its traditional flavors in most cases, then yes, you can do that. And you can do it because you paid for it, so you can do whatever you want with it. But it's not highly recommended. So I would say the same thing with this. I wouldn't highly recommend to age this. It's just phenomenal. Look, this La Flor Dominicana is outstanding. Outstanding. It is been a pleasure to smoke this. The flavors are so well blended, so well balanced. What can I say? I mean, this is what it's all about. This is what you and I both expect when we go after these famous cigars. And when they deliver as promised, then everything is well with the world, so it seems. But look, I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Backyard Cigars. I'll see you guys again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Till next time on Back Your Cigars.